Hi and welcome to my channel, So Luscious. Um, this video I'm just gonna share with you some recent goings on that I want to share my thoughts on. Okay, see, Meghan Markle is now a princess. Well, she's a duchess. I learned that the reason she's not technically a princess, though her official title has princess in it, is because she's not of royal blood. But then I learned that she does have royal blood on her father's side, and she's 15th. She's like a 15th cousin to Harry. Interesting. I wonder if they knew. They must have known. They must have known, you know. Gosh, if Umar Johnson tells it was all planned. It was all planned. If Vigilant Christian tells it, these royals they know Wagwan. But yeah, I'm happy for Harry. I'm sure that Princess Diana would be really happy and smiling, and you know she would just be overjoyed for her sons because they choose in their own, and especially with Harry's choice because he is so like, you know, he's married a mixed race woman, she's a divorcee, she's American, she has no royal blood, she's not aristocracy, she's just regular. Well, she's Hollywood, but hey, Hollywood actresses have married royals before, right? And the Queen's uncle married a Hollywood actress, but he denounced his throne, and that's when King Edward became king. And when he died, Elizabeth has been queen ever since. Oh, see, I did my research. Okay, so that's enough on Meghan. Okay, so now Pastor Jennings. Pastor Gino Jennings is quite the controversial type of pastor. There's a sermon where he talks about women. It's like, oh, he's calling women hoes and everything. And Mr. Vegas has taken a dislike to this. Now, if you watch the sermon, I think someone's called it church host, but if you go to Tony Harvin's channel, you can watch loads of sermons with Pastor Gino Jennings. He basically is giving the analogy, he has these mannequins and he's showing this type of dress, says it's not acceptable in church. And he also, I think the third or fourth mannequin is a male mannequin, and the man has his pants sagging, his shirt all up here, half naked and everything. And he says that's not acceptable for a man either. So he does address both. I think in the original one he didn't, so he clarified. Now, Mr. Vegas had said several things about Pastor Jennings, and he invited him to a service to debate. And funny enough, all I could get from Mr. Vegas was, yeah, you're wrong, you can't call women hoes, you can't say that if a woman looks like this or that, people are going to perceive it this type of way, and blah, blah, blah. Pastor Jennings just said, okay, give me Bible, give me Bible, give me Bible. Mr. Vegas just began shouting, and he wasn't actually quoting any scriptures. He wasn't actually making his point clear. The only point I could get from him was run the tape, run the tape, run the tape. It got to a point where it was just a shouting match, and Gino Jennings and the brethren kicked Mr. Vegas out, which that's how it goes, right? Now I've watched I watched the continuing debate after Mr. Vegas got kicked out, and it was with the Muslim brother who wanted to ask about eating pork. You can watch that also on Tony Harvin's channel. Now, do I agree? And you can see that if you reason with Pastor Jennings on a certain level, he will reason with you. But I think if it wasn't like an egotistical thing, it wouldn't have been the way that it is now. It is quite sad that Vegas says he's no longer a Christian and he's become like one of these antichrist type people. But I'm sure that he will come back to the fold. I'm also disappointed to hear that he had the nerve to criticize Marion Hall, who used to be Lady Saw. I'm saying that she should still do dance hall, but have a positive message now that she's a Christian. She made a choice herself just to leave dance hall and commit herself 100% to the Lord. So that's on her. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Vegas, you got dashed out of church. And Mr. Vegas, while you're complaining about the pastor calling women hoes, don't forget that you have a song called She's a Hoe. She's a hoe, she's a hoe. Versus if you look like this, you's a hoe. You know? So who's wrong? You both Pastor Jennings and Mr. Vegas have called women hoes. So who's better? You know what the Bible says, Mr. Vegas? He who is without sin cast the first stone. And you, my friend, casted your stone way too soon. But yes, so that's my thoughts on it. I just think it's hilarious. And yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching. My battery's my camera's been overheating, so I gotta go. Okay, bye.